Hey my little Patreoners, and welcome back to a new video. And this video is something I've never really attempted before, so as of yet I have no idea how it's gonna go, but I'm hoping it's gonna go well, and I'm hoping that you're gonna enjoy it because it'll give you a recap of all of my series. So as you guys know, I've been focusing more on certain series at the moment. We've been doing a lot of Rags to Riches, we've been doing a lot of Island Living, we've been doing Witches, and we've been doing Road to Fame. There's a lot of other series I've just not had time to get into, mainly because I just had way too many. I wasn't enjoying all of them, and I'm much happier for it now. I think the quality of my content is so much better now. I understand it if you had a sim in one of the series that I've not been able to get back into as much, then you're probably wondering what's happened to them. You're probably feeling a little bit neglected of their storyline. So this episode is designed to recap everybody else's story that has been going on since we saw them last, because they've been kind of chugging away in the background, and their storylines have been advancing in my head at least. So I want you guys now to be able to see and visualize what I've been picturing happening in my head. Hopefully you guys enjoy this episode. If you do, please give it a big cheeky thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what you think of all of the kind of new little tendrils that we explore in today's episode. With that in mind, let's get into it. Let's recap some of our sim series. So the first series I thought we'd kind of get back into and explore a little bit more is, of course, oh my gosh, birds flew by literally as I was doing that, is my beautiful OG series Dream House. Obviously Cody and Rue. Cody and Rue have been living in this house together, and in my head their storylines have definitely been advancing. But you guys obviously haven't been kept in the loop of my imagination. So let's check in and see just what has been happening in the Dream House. As for little Ruben, not only has his hair grown out a little bit, but he stayed on it in the forums. He's still trying to work on his career. He's still been seeing Val, but there may be some changes on the horizon there in this video. But he's still a happy little googie. He's still like working hard on himself, and yeah, little Ru, his modeling career is still doing well. He's got that interesting look, and he's happy. He is happy, or for now at least. As for Cody, he's been kind of getting used to a life of normality after like a lot of crazy stuff going on in his life. He's even settled down to the point where he's seeing the girl that he just kind of like started to have a little bit of a brief interaction with at the end of our Stranger Stories series, which is Perry. But despite this kind of plain house and kind of pretending that like he's happy with this new domestic life, I think there's definitely a big part of Cody that is missing the craziness and the adventure that he had before. So while he's acting like he's kind of switched to this new lifestyle, I don't think this is quite the Cody that we know. But how well will a new life really fit into Cody's dreams of being back adventuring with the boys again? Probably not so well, but I think he still dreams pretty fondly of those days, and I feel like adventure could be just around the corner for Cody. So that's the story in Dream House so far, but how about what is happening in some of our other neighborhoods? So now we return to Windenburg for some In the Suburbs recaps with our little house scene right here. It had to happen eventually. Noelle has moved out from the household, away from little Carrie and Tyler, and started a new life with Pablo. These two ladies have been recreating like a beautiful friendship with their mothers for so long, but they're getting a little bit older now. It's time for them to start moving on with their own lives without each other. So little Noelle is going to be starting a new life with Pablo at a later stage in her life, but I'm glad she found love eventually. I think Carrie will be sad to see her go though. Also, even now, I still can't get his name right, and I still call him Pablo, even though he's quite clearly Paolo and not Pablo. Also, just as we'd kind of hoped, Kat and Neva did stay good friends. They grew up as toddlers and as children. They saw an awful lot of each other, and they are very much teenagers now and probably very much ready to cause some trouble as well. which we kind of also predicted from them both. So I'm glad they've kind of stayed true to what we expected, and I think that they're pretty cool teenagers as well. And I like that Kat's kept her like tomboy style. Let me know what you guys think of them. Meanwhile, one person that won't be moving out with Noelle and Pablo and the new family is Nathan, because things have actually been going pretty well between him and Bella. I think he now might have actually found someone kind of deserving of his heart. He is still a little bit of a criminal, but rather than his new girlfriend dating him just because she finds it cool, she's actually dating him to try and change that part of him. So all in all, maybe proof that kind of a Cinder relationship can grow into something pretty nice and romantic. For Nathan, at least, it has done. Although, you know, it's still Nathan and some things never change. And I think he's always gonna have a little bit of a cheeky side to himself. He is still Nathan at the end of the day. But at least he's a happier Nathan now with, you know, a sweet bit to go alongside his cheekiness. Meanwhile, in the even more, if possible, beautiful side of Windenburgs, in my kind of very modern looking OG Suburban house, which obviously Chase and Valentine live in together. It's still very much just kind of business as usual for our little fashion designer and our little modeling duo. I would say Val is still pretty much desperately trying to win Chase's heart, but slowly starting to understand that it's probably not going to happen, no matter how many half-naked pictures of himself he puts up around the house. But recently he has been thinking of like his future and what he wants out of life. He's actually been investigating a lot of stuff online, particularly surrogacy options. He knows that he's probably not too interested in kind of meeting a girl and having a baby that way. He's kind of happy with the way life is now. And I also kind of love this sort of like friendship that these guys have. It's different to anything that anyone else in my series has. He's kind of like, look, Chase, what do you say that maybe we just kind of raise a kid together? Like if I like donate my sperm and like we do it that way and we get a surrogate, what do you reckon, Chase? Would you be interested in something like that? And I actually do think that Chase is like, you know what, why not? I can't see myself finding anybody else anytime soon, and I actually think we'd make some pretty good unconventional dads. So let's go for it. Let's go ahead and sort of have a baby together. Of course, that does mean, unfortunately, having to break things off with Rue and tell poor little Rue that like, things are like great between us, but I can't really see this relationship going anywhere. It was like never very serious anyway, so what do you say? How about we like just be friends? I have things I want to do, and I don't know. I just don't see this long term, Ruben. Do you? I like how we look dead at the camera there as well. So they have decided to cool off the romantic part of their relationship. They are just friends for now, but hey, you never really know what's on the horizon for Rue. I don't think he's too brokenhearted, and you never know. You never know what is in his future. So next up, we are in the jungle where Hunter, Salome, and the triplets live. We've not seen a huge amount of them, so I figured, why don't we catch up with them? So Hunter and Salome are Salome. They're evidently still as in love as ever, and not all hi Seji. Not at all regretting their decision to run away to the jungle together. They still seem just as in love, which is very sweet. Of the triplets, you have first of all the eldest triplet, who is Erica. Erica is actually quite a quiet girl who really likes writing. She kind of likes to stay in her room working on her novels. She's learned that in the family there is a few Calriakins that have shown pretty good creative potential, and she wants to put hers into writing. Also, she loves a good black and white film, as can be seen by what's on TV behind her. And she's definitely like more curvy and voluptuous. She's got more Kira in her, which I think is really cool. Erica is pretty different from her sister, Leah. Leah is very much into video games. She actually looks to me like she's got loads of Anthony in her, which I think is really cool. But they do get on really well together. They have a really good sisterly bond. They just are kind of quite different looking. I think she always wished that she had the chance to like hang around with and meet Anthony a little bit more, but you know, they did kind of move to the jungle, which makes things a little bit tricky. Leah is definitely the most outgoing of all the siblings because the youngest triplet, the only male triplet, Terrence, is actually quite a lot more similar to his sister Erica in that he is quite a creative little bumpkin. He's a little bit more quiet too, and both of them have this kind of creative streak in them. I feel like a lot of Calorie Aiken's like kind of like painting and writing. There's been quite a few of them now, and Terrence is definitely one of them. He's also one of the first male Sims I think we've had that's got like really long hair, and I think he looks a lot like Salome. And he also reminds me quite a lot of Ryder in that way too, with his long hair and his like paintiness. And I think all of the triplets have kind of grown up into their own like individual little people. I don't get as excited about this family, don't get as excited to play them, but I'm glad that they all grew up well and I got to show you guys how they grew up. So next we go to a little snowy city. It is of course San Myshuno in the winter. And things around here are definitely feeling very, very lonely and sad now that little Faithykins isn't here. I think the house is feeling pretty big to Caden. I mean, it's a penthouse apartment. It's pretty huge and I don't think he really saw himself growing old here. And even if you do have a dog to keep you company, it's not really the same as having your soulmate to accompany you into old age. And I definitely don't think Caden really envisaged getting old and not having Faithykins by his side. Even though he's got the medical practice in the house to like have people come here and like he can like give them medical advice here. It's still pretty lonely, but he's stuck around for the girls because he loves them like his own. By the way, I checked, he does not have romance with Violet. So a decision has been made by all of the people still living in the house, the twins and their partners too, to leave the penthouse and move out to something smaller and more manageable with maybe less sad memories. But before they do, there is one penthouse rooftop tradition that both the twins want to fulfill, which is the beautiful penthouse rooftop wedding. And since they're twins and they've kind of, though they've had their highs and lows, they've kind of always done everything together their whole lives. I think they also want to do a little joint wedding together. So that is exactly what our couple have decided to do, which is definitely very, very adorable. Hopefully you guys like the idea of them doing a joint wedding together. I think it's really sweet, like I like it a lot. And hopefully you guys do as well. So that is kind of, I don't know if we'll see much of these guys again together now. Don't know how much I will go back and have any kind of further episodes with these guys, but I do feel like there's definitely a lot more happiness in their future, a lot more like love between the couples, and I think a really nice way to end all of their stories too. I hope that you guys agree. So this brings us back to a pretty cold and miserable Brindleton Bay, which also kind of matches the mood of the Sims inside this household as well. Because as was revealed in the final episode of Sims 4 Witches, Sammy got a call from Connor to say that Seb had been badly injured. And unfortunately, guys, although he's putting on a little brave face, it is pretty badly injured. He's actually been so injured that he's lost a leg in the army, which means he's had to be discharged. But also for a Sim like Seb, this is like especially tough because he made his whole life is the army, and now he's at home again with like nothing to do, no purpose in life. And it's poor little Connor that's kind of at home trying to make his son feel happy, but actually secretly super worried about him as well. I don't know if you can tell as well, but he's also lost like a lot of his muscle mass, which is pretty common with people who get bad injuries. And I think he's pretty sad and upset about everything, but he does have people around him. He may have had to be kicked out of the army, but he does still have army friends that want to keep him company. And of course, he's got Connor too, so he is slowly on the road to recovery. And although he's getting good, like, his friends here are caring for him and Connor's caring for him, I think what he's really missing is like his little stranger stories gang. So maybe once he gets into a position where he's a little bit more able to look after himself and able to walk a little bit better, then maybe this leg won't need to be such a huge issue for him anymore. But right now he is finding it really hard to try and walk on it, which again is pretty common. And our poor little Seb is definitely a very changed man after going through everything with Sloan as well. It's not fair that he's had to go through this too, but there are massive risks with joining the army, and getting seriously injured or disfigured is definitely one of them. Oh, bless him. Literally breaking my heart right now, but this is what has happened, I'm afraid. So it's going to be a pretty long road for recovery for Seb. He does have a physio starting soon to help him, who will be coming to the house to help him directly here. And I think Connor's like, it's broken Connor's heart. I know it's not like a death sentence losing a limb, but as a parent, it must be really hard to watch. And I think he's probably quite glad that Erica didn't get to see this, because I think it would have broken her little heart as well. And that concludes all of our other series news for you guys. So let me know what you think of everything that I showed you in today's video. Let me know which of the news was the most shocking to you, which of the news you like, which of the news you don't, who else, maybe I missed someone. If I did, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in another video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!